You ever do something and immediately feel like you're going to regret it? That's me with this vlog. I'm gonna do a Megan Miranda vlog. If you do not know who Megan Miranda is, she is this white woman who writes mystery thriller type books, and I have purchased 2 of her books. I've read one of her books in the past, which was Such a Quiet Place, and I've always had a preconceived notion about Megan Miranda that her books were like boring and just like, I hate to be nasty, but like stay at home mom, you know, just wants a night in with a glass of wine and she doesn't care how good the book is as long as it's okay. That's what I always thought Megan Miranda books were. And so I read Such a Quiet Place, and that's what it gave. And so I realized I still had 2 Megan Miranda books on my bookshelf, and I was just like, let me see if Megan Miranda is for me, and I will know from this day forward she's not for me. It's the same thing I did with Riley Sager. I am never buying another Riley Sager book again. I don't care if you guys say it's good. I'm never doing it. I know Riley Sager is not for me. Let's see if Megan Miranda is for me. So I have 2 books from Megan Miranda I already own. I don't own Such a Quiet Place, even though I read it. I read it before, and so like I just never bought a copy of it. I read it via Kindle. I think. And so I never owned it, but I do own these 2 books. I got both of these books on sale. This one a really long time ago, and this one like last year. So I have The Girl from Widow Hills because if something says bargain, I feel like I have to read it. And then I have The Last House Guest. So I am going to read these 2 books. And if something compels me to read the 3rd one, we have The Last to Vanish. I checked this out from the library. I saw they had it there, and something about the library having a new release, I just feel like I have to check it out. And so I have it. Like, that's why I have to see if I like Megan Miranda, because for some reason I am gravitated towards her, but I don't understand why. But let me tell you this, it's not without lack of trying or me coming in this pessimistic. And when it comes to like glass of wine, stay at home mom type fiction, type thriller mystery, that's my gig. I'm in that number. I love domestic thrillers. I love those types of books. So Megan Miranda could be for me. It's just her books get such like mediocre ratings. So it's like, is she going to be for me? I don't know. I simply do not know. But that is what we are going to find out in this video, because I am dedicating 2023 to figuring out my book taste. And I'm also in my thriller mystery era. So we got to talk to the woman herself, Megan Miranda. I am going to start with The Girl from Widow Hills. Something about this makes me want to start here because I have more faith in this than I have faith in this. But here's the thing. I have to warn you. Missing people. If one of these books is called The Last to Vanish, and then The Girl from Widow Hills, she also was missing at a point too. I don't like books about missing people, and I hate books about missing people who return even more. So, or maybe that's not true. Maybe I'm a liar. Maybe I am able to stomach missing people as long as they've already returned. But missing people is not my thing. The minute we're looking for someone who is missing, or someone who is missing comes back and causes chaos, I don't like it. I don't like it. The only book that has ever proved me wrong is Local Woman Missing by Mary Kubica, but that book just had a lot of elements that came together, and the missing storyline is what I like the least. So we're going to start with The Girl from Widow Hills, and we're going to see, do I like Megan Miranda? I'm already regretting this. Thank God she knows about brevity and these books are short. But here I go. I will see you guys in our first class. Hello, you guys. I still have not started reading The Girl from Widow Hills. I am so scared that this reading year is going to be a bad one, that I'm afraid to read. Oh, it's bright. I'm afraid to read anything. So I've just been putting off stuff, and I need to just get started on The Girl from Widow Hills. So that is what I'm about to do next. I did want to come on here and show you guys, since this is like a vlog, if you will. That wasn't a good place to put you guys up. I went to the library so I can show you guys some library books. So I told you guys in my 2022 goals that I was going to be using the library for a good chunk of my physical books this year. And so I was just going to let what's at the library dictate what I read that's not like on my bookshelf. So some stuff I got from the library. I don't know if I'm going to be able to read these before they're all due, but it's good to just have the pile, like library books that I want to read. And if I get to them, I get to them. So first we have Who They Was. I was going to buy this book like a year ago and I never did. This was shortlisted for the Booker Prize. Longlisted for the Booker Prize. I'm sorry. It was interesting to me when I saw the synopsis at the bookstore, but I never bought it. And so it was at the library. And so I said that'll be something that can sit on my TBR. Another book that I was going to buy either sometime last year was Aurora. I believe this is like a thriller mystery. I don't know. Stephen King did the blurb, so like good for this person. But Aurora is a book that I purchased. That'll sit on my TBR. Another book that I have is Such Sharp Teeth. We have a werewolf novel. I have not read a werewolf novel in so long. So I said this would be a good option to read. Really pretty cover, so if I like it, I would buy it. The next thing that I have is The Violence. It's been sitting. This book is a lot bigger than I expected it to be, so this might sit on the TBR for a while. And then the last two books that I bought, this I'm going to read for a video, so you can look forward to that. Alice's Island, I'm going to read for a video, so I need to sit that to the side. And then the last book that I got from the library was Honey in a Shoe's Guide to Fake Dating. I thought that'd be a nice little YA book to read. So yeah, got some books to add to my TBR for the next 2 months. I'll try to make some of those priority. Like Aurora will be really good to read. So for this year, I am not gonna beat myself up for not getting reading vlogs to you guys every week. I was really hard on myself at the end of last year for not getting reading vlogs to you guys, and I'm just not going to do that this year. If I get a reading vlog to you guys in the week, that would be great. If I don't think it's because I'm not reading or I'm not trying. It's just sometimes I just can't get to the book, and I don't want to force myself to like reread, because sometimes I do want to prioritize books that just aren't for reading vlogs. Stuff that just like none of these books I expect to be in reading vlogs. I might just do a library reading vlog at some point. Like again, I already did one. I could do a library reading vlog again and I could read it. And I could read some of these books, but you never know. So I don't want to feel pressured to have to read these books, or not read these books, read books and get you guys reading vlogs. So with that being said though, I do want to read a Megan Miranda book. You guys know I am in my thriller era, so I am excited to read It's So Bright. The sun sets on this side of my home, and so it gets so bright in here when I'm sitting in front of the window. So I am gonna try to read 100 pages of this today and come for my initial Megan Miranda thoughts. Okay, peace. Hello you guys, I have made it to page 74 of this book. So we are reading The Girl from Widow Hill. So this follows a girl who got swept away during a rainstorm. There was a big rainstorm that came through her town, and she got swept away and was lost for like days upon days upon days. Everyone did watch parties for her. Everyone did search parties for her. Everyone put out ads in the newspaper. There was all types of things trying to find her. Well, eventually she is found, and it is major news. Her mother writes a book about her, and that gets her mother all types of fame, all types of praise, all types of that stuff. But our main character, she doesn't like any of that praise. She doesn't like the attention because she's not really sure what happened to her when she went missing. The story goes that she was just sleepwalking and she made it out of the house and went missing. So as soon as she was old enough, she left this town and took up a new name name Olivia and started to live a whole other life. So she's living this life and she's been sleepwalking in this new life as of recently. It's also the 20th anniversary of what happened to her. And so she's been sleepwalking in her new life. At first, there isn't any issues until there is. One day she is sleepwalking. Well, she wakes up and she is in her front yard, her new life, her front yard. And she's is like standing next to a dead body, and this dead body is of someone she knew in her past life, and now she is afraid that things from her past life are going to come out, because in this new life no one knows who she is, no one knows what happened to her, how she went missing. From what I can tell from the book, even she doesn't know what really fully happened in her past life. But yeah, that's pretty much what has honestly happened so far, and that is the synopsis of the story. So far the book is fine. This has a little bit of like amnesia, like sleepwalking and amnesia go hand in hand with me. I dislike both of them exactly the same. Like, I just don't like dealing with characters who don't remember certain things that they've done, certain situations that they have been in. So we have that. Do I like stories about people getting new lives? I do like it when people run away from their old lives. That is a trope in thrillers I enjoy, but this book is fine. You want to know what, to be honest with you, I find this book a little bit confusing. We get newspaper clippings. We have two timelines. We have the timeline of her life like before, and we have a timeline of her life now. Or you have a timeline of her life before the person she finds the person in her yard. Then you have the timeline where the person is in her yard and she's been sleepwalking. You also get press clippings to figure out what was going on back when she was a child. And also our narrator, which is our main character, she's telling you stuff about her childhood in this as well. So it's a little confusing to get all of the pieces together. I would say the writing is not the best for me when it comes to just, when it comes to just being easy to understand, but it's no big. I'm not lost in any way. It's just a little, it's just a little bit confusing at times to get the story, but I'm on page 74. I am not disliking it. Do I think I'm done reading for the day? Yes, I'm reading other books in my life. I'm reading The Only Black Girls in Town, which I'm kind of enjoying more than this book, so I think I'm going to put this down for right now. I'm going to pick it back up tomorrow. Maybe I'll pick it back up later on tonight. It's pretty late tonight. I want to play some Mario Party. I love playing Mario Party. So I want to play some Mario Party. That's what I might do, and then get back into it. The good thing about this book is that it is just really, besides it being a little bit confusing, I'll get the hang of the different timelines. It takes a while for me to get the hang of timelines and different dual like timeline POVs, all that type of stuff when it comes to books. So I'll get the hang of it in a second and it won't be any issue. But it is really easy to read. There's not a lot of words on the page, so it's a pretty easy book to get through. If I really tried, I could finish it tomorrow, and maybe I will. I don't know. But so far, that is what I have been up to. Do you guys know this? So I have been saying forever I am going to organize my bookshelf, extend my bookshelf. You guys, I have to take all of these books down. I just actually reorganized everything and got everything back on my bookshelf. I have to take all of these books down and get everything right to extend my bookshelf. It's something we're going to start working on this weekend. I'm not looking forward to that, but I am looking forward to having space. I got rid of so many books. Let me show you guys something. When on my thriller bookshelf, look, you guys, I have space. This is called space, you guys. I never have space on this shelf, but I have space. Like, I can easily pull things from this shelf, and I never do. And then in my contemporary section, look at all of this space that I have, because I did some like organizing, and then I have all my books that I was unhauling, and then I put my TBR cart together of books that I want to get rid of. I have to read or get rid of. So that was a lot of books that came off my shelf. So basically, I already started pretty much let me show you. So basically, these are already the books that I'm thinking I'm going to unhaul in 2023. But they're going to sit over here all year. And I have the opportunity to read them. If I read them, then I get to keep them. But if I don't, they all will be getting unhauled. I did a whole video on this, so I will show you guys. I hope maybe you guys have seen it by the time this vlog goes up. I don't know how long this vlog is going to take. And then I have this card over here. You guys have seen this video. This is like my urgent TBR, the books that I want to get to immediately in 2023. Of course, I've read already 3 books before I've read anything on this cart, but I am going to get to these books. These are not books that I'm going to unhaul if I don't get to. It's just these are books that I don't want to make it. Let's give myself April. I don't want to get to April and none of these books are read. And most of these books aren't read. I would like to read 2 this month, so maybe the Gunkel and Vladimir. It'll be hard, but yeah, these are just books I would like to get to before April. At least attempt. So yeah, but that is the bookshelf. That's the shelf. I know a lot of people do bookshelf tours on their channel. I could not imagine giving you guys a bookshelf tour. Am I just supposed to go up and be like, okay, you guys, so this is The Chainsaw by Adrian McKenty. You guys, this is The Passengers by John Mars. This is The Plot by Jean Humph Corelitz, whatever. And you guys, here's Fever Dream, the wife of Ceres, the secret she keeps, confessions, a house at the bottom of the lake, they never learned, I know you know, the other woman, behind her eyes, the witchery. I know that I said I was not going to read anymore tonight, but it don't take nothing to get me to lying. So I am on the 121 page 121, and usually I don't come back unless like there's something pressing for me to say before the end. I do want to start by saying this is boring as shit. Like this book is boring as shit. Like it's not anything I want to DNF because it's easy to read, but it's boring as shit. Like nothing is going on. And I just want to say a gripe I am having. I am on page 121. This book has like 320 pages maybe. So like I only have 200 pages left of this book. And what we have gotten in the first 121 pages is the synopsis. You literally, if you want to know what I have read in the first 121 pages of this, I want you to go to your local library, find this book, and I want you to read the synopsis of this book, and you will know exactly what has happened in the first 121 pages of this book. Nothing has happened in this book that you wouldn't already know if you read the synopsis. I got a little bit confused because I was telling you like the POV changes was confusing me a little bit. So I read the synopsis and it like spoiled something for me because it hadn't happened yet. And so when I finally get to like what has happened, I'm just like, it took me 121 pages to get to what the synopsis could tell me. So I'm coming on here to complain. You literally could read. So if you want to pick this book up, I want you to read the synopsis and start on chapter 12. Read the synopsis and start on chapter 12 because that's when the actual story starts. It takes them 121 pages to get the like exposition done. So like now we're in our rising action. I don't know about that, but yeah, this is just boring. Like I'm bored down. Like I'm bored down. I'm sitting here in my guest room. I only came in my guest room because I need light, and like this guest room, surprisingly, because it's small, has surprisingly good light. Like, ooh. But yeah, I came in here just to complain. Of course, just to complain. So this is like starting off really, really bad. The thing is, I don't remember what I've heard about this book. Obviously, you see I bought it on bargain. I don't think I've ever heard anyone say anything good about this book. I think the most I've heard people say is like they forgot what it was even about. And like, I totally get it because what the hell. So hopefully these next 200 pages are just boom, 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 action-packed, fun. I'm not, okay, let me leave you with a little bit of positivity. I am curious to see like how this all comes together, like why the person who she like saw dead in her front yard is dead. I am curious, but like also I could just go look that up. I could just go look up what the plot, like what happens in this, and it could also solve that. So do I need to read 200 pages to get to that? I don't know. But anyways, I will come back to you guys if something interesting happens, if things take a turn, because right now we're looking at a 1-star, 2-star rule. Speaking of, I have to discuss, I think I want to get a little bit stricter with my ratings this year. I think 1 star should be either DNF, you shouldn't read this book. Like 1 star should just be a book I do not like absolutely do not like, terrible book. Then 2 star should be like fine, like I just didn't like it. Like I just didn't like it. I think basically what I'm saying is I think I should move what I usually give a 3-star to a 2-star, and a 3-star should just be like a good book. Like it's good. Like it's good. And then 4 stars should be like, wow, this is a good book. And then 5 should be like, this is great, you know? Like, so I think 3 should be good. 4 should be, wow, this is good. And then 4 should be great, perfect, flawless. And 2 should be, I didn't like this. I didn't like this. And 1 should be, ooh, I shouldn't have read this. Like, ooh, do not pass go, do not collect your $200, jail, you're going to jail. Like that's what I think I should do. I don't know, I'm going back and forth as if it matters, as if this is all in my head. No one's waiting at bated breath for Miss As Told By's reviews. No one's waiting at bated breath for Miss As Told By's reviews, but I'm thinking about it in my head. Anyways, I am gonna finish off tonight. I'm done reading. I'm starting into my, I'm done reading. I thought I was done, but now I'm really done reading. I gotta eat dinner. It's late. I'll see you guys later. Hello, you guys. I have finished The Girl from Widow Hills, and I am giving this book 1 out of 5 stars. Absolutely not. So this book is just really stupid. Let me be nicer in 2023. Stop calling people's hard work stupid. This book is just very boring. This book is very boring. The characters are really uninteresting. The story is really uninteresting. So remember how I was telling you guys in the synopsis, the whole point of this story is that this girl goes missing in a drain, and then they find her a few days later, and they're trying to figure out how she could have survived in a drain for so long. What makes this story so bizarre is that it's hard for me to believe that so many people care so deeply about a girl getting lost in a storm and then coming back caring so much 20 years later. Like no one had anything to do in the 90s, so I'll give you that. Everyone was bored as hell in the 90s. Stories like this would gain a lot of traction and people would have paid attention to it, but like for people to care in 2020 about this girl who went missing, it just seems very far-fetched. So like the whole idea of this story rests on everyone caring so much about this girl for years and years and years, and I just don't see that as something that could be true. But the big moment in this book that is really supposed to gag you, you see a mile away. You're gonna notice as I read more thriller books this year, my biggest annoyance with the thriller is if I solve the mystery, because I am no one's sleuth. I am no one's sleuth. I am no one's detective. I don't even read thrillers trying to guess what's going on. I just read them, you know. If I guess it along the way, I do, but I don't set out to try and guess them. So when I guess what's going on, when I guess like what's going to be the plot twist, you know you've written a bad book. I'm so sorry. You know you have written a bad book. And there is nothing surprising about the plot twist in this book. I was going to give this book 2 stars up into the plot twist, because I was like, this is a good introductory thriller for people who, you know, don't really read thrillers and they're trying to dip their toe in. Maybe that's what Megan Miranda is good for, but I feel bad for giving Such a Quiet Place the blues, because at least Such a Quiet Place by Megan Miranda, I'll pop it up, at least that book was and like I was there the entire time. Like I never was like bored reading it. This book is boring. The plot twist you see a mile away. It's a little too basic in writing. It feels like this book was written in like, whoa, let me be respectful, child. It feels like this book was written in like 2012 and not 2020. It's just a no all around for me. I'm not feeling too good about Megan Miranda. So I plan on doing these like reading thriller authors all year because it's an easy way for me to get through the thriller authors that I own and all the thrillers that I own. And also I want to be in my thriller era. I told you guys that. So I have a rule for this. If I read 2 books and I give both books less than 3 stars, I have to stop the video. That's my unspoken, well, now it's spoken. That's my rule. If I give both books, because I plan on reading like 3 books from most of the authors, maybe it'll be 2 from a few, but like I plan on reading 3 books from each author, maybe more. And if I give 2 books in a video less than 2 stars, less than 3 stars, the video's a chop. The video is done. I am no longer reading from that author in the future unless something comes along. So because that is my rule, and I gave that book 1 star, and then I gave Such a Quiet Place by Megan Miranda, I think 2 stars. Maybe I gave it 3. I really want to read The Last of Vanish. I checked it out from the library. It's going to be due back to the library. And I don't want to like give up on Megan Miranda before reading this book. So instead of reading the book I actually paid money for, The Last House Guest, I am going to read The Last of Vanish because I want to. I think this book is going to work, and I don't know if I've heard anything good about The Last of Vanish, so I'm nervous and I'm scared. Let me talk about the elephant in the room. My empty bookshelves. I told you guys, I've been telling you guys forever, I'm extending my bookshelf, and today is the day. Look at this. First of all, I want to show you guys this Percy Jackson. These are my prized possessions. I have never read the Percy Jackson series, and I really hope that we get to it this year in a vlog, because you guys know I still think YA fantasy is for me. And so I really want to get to the Percy Jackson. But you guys, look at how beautiful these are. They're just basic and cute. I pay more money than anyone should pay for books that they've never read to get these. And then I purchased I've always loved these covers. When I used to see people do book reviews like a decade ago on these books, I always loved these covers, but I could never buy them because I never read the Percy Jackson series. We actually read Percy Jackson in middle school for class, and I've never been a fantasy girl, and so I like didn't read the books. One thing about me, I'm consistent. But I saw these and had to get my hands on them. I paid an ungodly amount for them, but they're just so beautiful. And then another thing I wanted to address. When it comes to Philippa Gregory, where should I begin in this like series? Like the other Boleyn girls, should I read them in dates in publication order, or like the order that they go in based off of like, you know, what happens in the books? I think I'm going to do publication order because that just seems a little bit more classy to me, reading them in publication order. But yeah, my shelves are down. The next time you guys will see the shelves in this video, they probably will be done and put together. There's some wood right there. Good morning, you guys. It is an not that early morning. I got started early this morning, but it's not early at this time. I'm at the hardware store, Home Depot. If you're from America, you know what Home Depot is. If you're from North America, I think you know what Home Depot is. They got Home Depots in Canada. I don't know, but I'm at Home Depot because I have to get the stain that I'm gonna stain my wood. I also need some soil. I need to repot some plants. Then I need to get a brush, some polyurethane. It's a whole thing. So I'm just here at the store. It's a Saturday, so you know it's about to be packed. I live around a bunch of middle-aged and old people. Therefore, Home Depot is where they be at on Saturday. But I did make a little bit of progress on The Last to Vanish. I am on page 30. I'm on chapter 3, I think. And ain't nothing of interest really happened yet. I haven't even gotten to the end of the synopsis of what they already told me is going to happen. Basically, thus far, we meet this lady who works at this inn. She loves working at this inn, and she lives in this really like sleepy town where people just hike and do stuff like that. But the only thing is, people have been going missing. They had this thing called this fraternity of 4, because these 4 people got, like, they just vanished in the thin air. And then someone else recently vanished, and the brother of the person who vanished, who just recently vanished, who vanished from their inn, he has come back to stay. So he's in the story right now, and basically you're meeting all the moving parts that's going on. Everyone seems a bit weird. Like, no one seems on the up and up to me, not even our main character. Everyone seems a little bit sketchy. But now that I say I'm 32 pages in and we haven't even gotten near where they're going to tell, like, the synopsis going, Megan Miranda, that might be a big issue with her for me. It takes like 100 pages to get to the point that you already know is going to happen, because the synopsis already told you. It takes her too long to set the scene of these stories, and it's a little, I don't know how to feel about that. But yeah, that's what I've gotten so far. I don't know how much I'm gonna get through with it today, because I have stuff to do, and because it's a library book, I'm not gonna check out the audio book, because that would be a waste of like time, money, and energy. This is a fairly new release, so I know the audio book wouldn't be on Libby, so it would be a waste of money to get the book from the library and still spend money on the audio book. That's hustling backwards a little bit. Hello, you guys. I am here to update you guys on what I have been reading. I'm actually almost done with Megan Miranda, The Last to Vanish, and I have positive things to say. I had to come update you guys. I'm on part 4. This is a really easy book to read. This is a true mystery. There is no thrilling elements of this book, at least I have not got them yet. It seems to be a true mystery. So like I was telling you before, you have this woman who works at this inn. She's been working at this inn for like a decade now, and it's in this small town in North Carolina. Do all of Megan Miranda's books take place in North Carolina? The last book took place in North Carolina too. I don't know if not Such a Quiet Place. I don't remember if it took place in North Carolina, but I don't know. She's been working at this inn, and there have been a lot of people going missing. I kind of underplayed how many people have been missing in this town. There's been a lot of people going missing. Every time someone goes missing, people just kind of care about it for a little bit, then sweep it under the rug, and someone else ends up missing. The biggest like group of people missing were these 4 people who they call the fraternity 4 who went missing. But there have been people who have gone missing after that, and most recently a guy who was staying at the inn, he went missing. His brother came to get more information about him and to see what was going on when he was staying at the inn. But a lot of people have come to the inn to try to see what's going on, because everyone feels like they can crack the case. And people aren't just missing, they're vanishing. Like no bodies of any of these people have ever been recovered, so there's no proof that these people are even dead. They're just vanishing. And so basically people come to this inn to see what is happening, but our main character, she gets swept up in the mystery as well, because she has felt like certain things that people in the town have told her aren't really true. She is not from this town. She moved to this town 10 years ago, and she constantly feels like people leave out information because she was not there when the first person vanished. So she feels like people are cherry picking information to give to her, and so she's a little unsure of everything that's going on. And that's pretty much our story. Everyone wondering what's happening with this, our people, and our main character also having her own questions. Everybody's sketchy as hell. That's literally what I can say about this book, what makes this book so interesting. Everyone's sketchy as fuck. I was giving up on Megan Miranda, but this is a good mystery book. I don't know what the fuck happened with the girl from Widow Hills, but this is a good mystery book. Like, I don't see why I wouldn't give this book 3 or 5 stars. Like, I'm sorry, all the characters are so compelling. This town is compelling. The stuff that she's finding out, like, I'm having a good time with this book, and I did not expect to. Now, I will say it is just people talking. If you don't like mysteries where it's just people going from person to person talking, this is not the one for you, because that is literally what our main character is doing. She just goes from person to person talking. But what makes this more interesting than a book like a Sister, where I said she was going from person to person talking, the way she goes from person to person talking makes sense. And also, she's not doing that thing where the main character all of a sudden becomes this like crazy sleuth who can crack these crazy mysteries and you wonder why they don't work for the CIA. That's not this. She's doing things within reason. Her questions are within reason. Is she doing dumb things in this book? Yes, but everyone in a mystery, the main character in a mystery, especially when they're trying to solve the mystery, is always doing dumb shit. She's doing stuff like she found some stuff in a locker that wasn't hers, but her name was attached to it, and she was just like, let me hide the stuff in the locker. Bitch, I would go to the locker owner and be like, now what the fuck is this? Now what the fuck is this? Why is my name on a locker that I did not even buy, and there's shit of a missing person inside the locker? Like, be fucking for real. That's what a normal person would do. But instead she hides the stuff to make herself look even more guilty. Choices, but you know what? This book is really, really good. I am going to finish it today. And so yeah, I will see you guys later when I do that. Peace. Hello, you guys. I have to give an update on The Last to Vanish by Megan Miranda. I am pleased to update. I am going to be giving this book 4 out of 5 stars. I think mystery is Megan Miranda's bread and butter. I think thriller she might needs to leave alone, but just mystery, intrigue, Megan Miranda did a really solid job with this book. This book, I was interested in all the characters. I was interested in the town. I was interested in the people who were going missing. This book had a lot of twists and turns that I didn't see coming, and it also had enough twists and turns that I did see coming that kept me like in it, like, oh, Kenya, you guessed that right. I enjoyed this book, which I did not expect to. At first, I thought it to be a bit boring. Megan Miranda is very long-winded with her exposition, but it's one of those books that you just slowly creep along. If you like fast-paced, if you do like thriller, if you do like those types of books, mystery books where it's just fast, go, 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 this is not the book for you. You're kind of just on a journey. You're kind of just reading a story about a woman from this small town who works at an inn, and people go missing in this small town, and her finding out things about herself, about other people. That's really what it is, just a slow journey. And that's how I like my mysteries. I like my mysteries to be character centered and less like plot centered, if that makes sense. Because in order to enjoy the plot of a mystery, I have to be invested in the characters. Because if you just have characters who I don't care about doing outlandish things, being liars, being idiots, being murderers, being all, I don't care, because I'm just like, these characters mean nothing to me. But if you give me a story where I understand the characters and I understand their relationships to one another and why I should be so invested in what's going on in their life, you have me. And I think Megan Miranda did that with this book. I'm giving this book 4 out of 5 stars. This was a good way to start off my reading year. I really, really enjoyed The Last to Vanish. So much so that I might even buy it myself. Like, whoa, I might buy it myself. I don't know. But I really wish the other 2 Megan Miranda books I'm reading for this video, I do own myself. And I wish it was this one that I own myself. But I really like that. So speaking of Megan Miranda books I own myself, let's go over to, this is my TBR shelf. I always show it now and then, but these are just videos I'm thinking about doing, books I'm thinking about reading. Usually what's on this shelf is like set in stone. I'm going to read it, but not this year. I think this year, this TBR shelf is going to be more like light suggestions. I can change it out when I want to or keep it. So we have The Last House Guest. The Last House Guest, I'm already reading some of it, and I'll just come on here immediately and tell you what the last house guest is about. So you have a girl who lives in like this beach town, this town on the water, and her friend committed suicide. And basically there was a lot of mystery around her death, but after a while everyone just said she committed suicide. Everyone was okay with the fact that that's what happened. Like, no one was really up in arms about it. Well, this girl is still living in that same city, and she still lives with the people. She still lives at the house of the friend who killed herself, because she ended up kind of being taken in by this rich family. After her mother died, she was going to lose her house that she lived in with her it was her grandmother's house. She was going to lose the house basically because her grandmother had died. She didn't know what she was going to do about the bills and all of that stuff. So this family basically took her in and was like, you can live with us, we'll buy your family's home and you can live with us, and that's how it'll be. And you'll still have the house, like, in theory, but you'll live with us. Because she had gotten so close with the friend that's the girl, she was kind of their charity case. But anyways, now that the girl is dead, she still lives in the guest house of the people who took her in. But things have been coming back to light. The brother of the girl has moved back, who has come back to the same town, and things are a little bit weird. I don't know if I explained that synopsis right. Basically, some rich girl took her in as a friend. The girl that we're following, she is not rich, but she got taken in by this rich family. She still works for this rich family, even though now that the girl is dead, they don't really talk very much, but she still lives with them. But her brother has come back to this town, and things have happened that have made her look back into the night that her friend killed herself. So they say that she drowned. She jumped off of a cliff and drowned herself. And so she's looking into things because things may not be what she sees them as. And yeah, that's pretty much what is going on. It's boring so far. It's boring so far. Maybe because I like The Last of Vanish so much. It's boring so far. I'm not really in it with the characters. You guys know the kiss of death for a book for me is when it has the Reese Witherspoon book club sticker. That's like the kiss of death. I never like a Reese Witherspoon book club pick, but we're gonna hope for the best with this one. But it's fine. It's setting up a mystery. I'm gonna need to be the setting isn't really reigning true to me. Like, her living in these rich people's home, the brother coming back, like, it's just her being like, she's like the property manager. They own a lot of properties, and she's the property manager for a lot of the properties. And like, it's just not, it's 7 years later, so she's like she's in her late 20s at this point, if it's 7 years later, or maybe like mid 20s. She doesn't feel that way. It's just, I don't know. It's just not great right now. But I am only at about the 100-page mark, so we'll see how that goes. But I'll come back with some more thoughts. I'll come back before I finish the book. I'll come back and see, has anything changed? Am I still feeling the vibes, not feeling the vibes? What's going on? And then we'll finish up. Okay, you guys, I am at the halfway point of The Last House Guest, so I can come back with some clearer thoughts and tell you what it's about. I think in the last clip I told you it's been like 7 years since all of this, the girl who was dead in this book died. That's not true. It's been 2 years. I think she knew the girl for 7 years, but it's been 2 years since the girl has died. And basically, you have this girl, she kind of gets brought in by this really rich family who comes to visit every summer, and she starts to work at the like rental properties that this family owns, and she really becomes a part of the family, so much so that she moves in with them after her mom and grandmother, after her parents and her grandmother dies. But then one summer they're having their summer party, and the girl who she's best friends with, who's a part of this rich family, she commits suicide, and it got ruled a suicide by everyone because they found a suicide note And so they were just like, I guess that is it. But now 2 years later, on the 2-year anniversary of what happened, new clues are coming around that question everything that happened. Weird stuff is going on in the town, in the B&Bs that the woman, the main girl, she supervises. Weird things are going on with the brother of the girl who died and stuff like that. So much so that now the detectives are kind of looking into the case and they think our main character might have something to do with it. So that's pretty much what you're getting from this story. I have a few gripes with this book. Number one, I have no clue why this book is called The Last House Guest. I'm assuming I'm gonna know by the end of this why this book is called The Last House Guest, but I've been guessing for the past like 30 minutes why this book could be called The Last House Guest. And I'm like, am I supposed to know why this book is called The Last House Guest? So you have that right there. Number two, the main character of this book is just not compelling. It's just really hard to ground this character in some type of reality. It feels like this character is whatever she needs to be in whatever moment. When we get flashbacks to her before Sadie is the girl who's dead. Before Sadie is dead, she seems like a different person. She acts differently now. Like sometimes she's quiet, sometimes she's a little bit more boisterous. Like the things people say about her are different than what the vibe that we get from her. So it's all just really confusing. She's a really confusing character, and for this to be told in her perspective, it's really hard to care about this book. I'm gonna be honest with you, this book would be on DNF alert if not for the fact I deeply want to know what actually happened to Sadie. I want to know what happened to Sadie. And that's the thing about Megan Miranda books. Like they'll suck, but you like gotta know what happened. It's kind of like the girl from Widow Hills. Yeah, I had to know what happened, and that's the same thing about this book. Like I have to know what happens. Like I want to know what happens to Sadie, but it's not like this book is good. This book is actually really, really boring. Reese Witherspoon, you did me wrong again. This book is really boring. This book is just really, really boring. The town that this is set in is not really good. To come off of a book like The Last of Vanish, which was just compelling. All the characters were compelling. The Last House Guest just isn't compelling. It's boring. So that's pretty much all I have to say, is that this book is really boring. And so, little bit of spoiler, so like stay with me. So like the detectives believe that like our main girl has something to do with Sadie's murder, maybe, but it just doesn't make any sense. Why would the person who has something to do with the murder be begging y'all to open back up the murder case? Like it just feels like we're trying to add another element, another reason why our main character would be trying to dig and see who did this, when in reality, like the detectives honestly shouldn't care. Like they just shouldn't care. It's just like, okay, one of her friends thinks something different happened. I don't know. It just feels like we're grasping at straws here. But I gotta know what happened to Sadie. I gotta know what happened to Sadie. I wanna stop reading this book. I really, really do. I'm halfway done with it. But I gotta know what happened to Sadie. I really wanna know what happened to Sadie. It just sucks when like you feel like you're getting close to what happened to Sadie and some other stupid ass storyline comes back. And then they keep bringing in characters who you literally don't know who they are. Like I know the book has told me 30 pages ago who this character is in relation to Sadie and our main character, but I don't remember you. I don't remember where you come in the story, and I'm supposed to be gooped and gagged when these people come into the story, but I'm just like, I don't know you. I don't know who you are. Like this, I don't know. That's what's going on. I'm not enjoying myself. I'm not enjoying myself. Yeah, so I'll see you guys when I finish it, and so I have to know, like, and tell you guys what happened to Sadie. But it's seeming like this is a book that you really could skip. You really could skip. I was eating Teddy Grahams. But anyways, I am gonna take a little bit of break. I need to do some laundry. And yeah, so let me do that, and I will see you guys I'll see you guys, I think, tomorrow. I don't think I'm gonna read any more tonight. Is it an easy book to read? Actually, not really. Let me show you guys. There's actually a lot of goddamn words on each page. Like the font is kind of small. Like it's not really, but the font is kind of small. Like it's not like it takes a little bit to get through a page. So yeah. I want to DNF it so bad. Because I'm in my DNF era, I want to DNF it. And like, I have all those books back there that I actually would rather be reading, but I just feel like we've come so far in this video. It's like, at least I'll know. The good thing about reading a book that you think you're gonna DNF if you read all the way through. At least I'm like good with unhauling it. Like this book has been sitting. I was supposed to unhaul it last year if I didn't read it. At least I know it can go. It can go. Anyways, I will see you guys later. Peace. You guys, I have completed The Last House Guest. I actually completed this book last night. And I didn't want to come on here and give this book a rant review because it would not have been productive. But I have nothing nice to say about this book. Can you say something nice about this book? I can't. I can't say anything nice about this book. I'm 100% giving this book 1 star. This book is on par with The Girl from Widow Hills. Just boring. Just boring. Like, I can't even give it 1 star, like a fun 1 star. Like, it was ridiculous. No, this book was just boring. There was literally nothing that happened in this book that was interesting. And this book did that thing that some bad mystery books like to do, where you will get a piece of information and that information is presented to the reader like it's the smoking gun, but you have no clue how this information is the smoking gun. All of a sudden, our main character gets a piece of information and you're supposed to be like, whoa, this really blew the story up. And the main character acts like they just got so much information out of this clue. But this clue is so small and minute, you're just like, there's no way this clue would have led you to the conclusion, this huge conclusion that you're drawing that's going to actually crack the case open. Like, the clues that we're getting aren't good clues, but the main character sees them and all of a sudden knows everything about everything that is going on. I just hate the amateur sleuth trope where the person all of a sudden becomes this amazing sleuth out of nowhere and can connect dots where dots aren't even made and draw lines, and from lines make pictures, and all of a sudden they have everything that's going on. No. But then let's get into the actual mystery of the book. That's also not interesting at all. Like, I said I wanted to know what happened to Sadie, but as the book kept going, I did not want to know what happened to Sadie. Like, this 100%, if I was really a woman of my word, should have been a DNF, but because I had already gotten to the end of this video, I read 2 books, I couldn't DNF it. I was just like, let me just get through it. I physically own it. Like, this is my book. How the hell is the worst book in this, the worst 2 books in this video, the worst books in this video are the ones that I own. And the book that I actually found to be really good is the one I have to return to the library in a week. Like, I just don't understand it. So I guess the whole point of this video is to see, am I a Megan Miranda girl? The answer is no. I'm not going to be picking up any more Megan Miranda. If I do, it would have to just be on a whim. Like, I need a book really quickly because I'm going on a trip or something and I can pick it up from the library. But I will not be reading any more of her backlist, like, at all. And I'm not reading, I'm not doing... I've read 4 Megan Miranda books and only liked 1, so it's time to give Megan Miranda up. I will come back and wrap this video up for you guys, but Megan Miranda's a chop. Okay, peace. So you guys, this year I am committed to being in my thriller era, and so I decided this year I want to go through certain thriller authors, read some of their back catalog, and see, am I a fan of this person? Will I be picking up more from them in the future? Because I want to build a library that really just has authors that I'm passionate about, authors I want to buy from immediately. And so I want to go through some of the books that I own from, like, authors where I have a lot of their books and see, are they for me? Megan Miranda was who I decided to start off with this year. Megan Miranda puts out a lot of books. Megan Miranda has a lot of books, and you know, she's very popular, and I wanted to see, am I a Megan Miranda girl? I read 1 Megan Miranda book in the past, Such a Quiet Place. Did not like it, found it fine at best, boring at worst, and so I had 3 more Megan Miranda books to read. I got The Last of Vanish from the library, and then I purchased on bargain The Last House Guest a few years ago, and The Girl from Widow Hills just last year. And it was not good. It was not good. I did not enjoy 2 of the books in this video. I found this book to probably be the worst of them, because this book really has no direction. It's not even interesting. It's just a really bad book. It gets thrillery at the end for no reason. And you're just like, this is bad. And the ending is also bad and it's boring. And I just did not like anything about this book. It was too long for what it was. It just wasn't that interesting. The Last House Guest, I've read this book and I still don't know why this book is called The Last House Guest. I don't know why this book is called The Last House Guest. I thought this was about a girl who had a house and she was the last house guest. I don't know what I thought this book was about, but I also don't like Riley Sager books, I think, so it's no coincidence Riley Sager wrote the blurb for this book. I have noticed authors that I do not like always write the blurb for books I also do not like. I don't know, it's 100% just a coincidence, but it's a thing. This book was just boring. I wouldn't say it was directionless. It was just simply boring. The characters were not compelling. The characters switched up anytime they needed to like switch up. We were told things about the characters instead of like seeing things about the characters. You never felt like you had any attachment to the person who was gone in this book. So the mystery wasn't really compelling. Only if you're a nosy person would you probably even keep reading this book. I should have DNF'd this book. It's just, I should have DNF'd both of these books. But you know, the content, I guess. A good book. Let's end on a good note. The Last of Vanish is a good book. I don't care. Megan Miranda, and I have a theory that if you swing enough times, you will eventually hit. And that's what I think this book is. This is Megan Miranda taking her fourth swing with me. And something was bound to hit. And that was this book. I thought this book was really, really good. Like almost, it's not 5 worthy because like I don't like it that much. But this book was really good. I give this a comfortable 4. I was in the town. This is about a small town. I felt the small town vibes. I felt all the characters. The only thing that probably was a little clunky was the reveal. The reveal was a little bit clunky, but everyone had secrets that were good. Everyone had motives that were good. Everyone was sketchy. I've learned about myself. What makes a good mystery for me is if everybody has a little bit of sketch in them. I don't like when we can immediately write off a character, or if we're supposed to write off a character and then they come back and all of a sudden they're the mastermind behind everything. I don't like that. I like when every character can have a motive or have a reason to be a part of the mess. And that's what this book gave me. It took me on twists. It took me on turns. I really enjoyed my reading experience with this book. So am I going to be reading any more Megan Miranda in the future? Can't say I will be. Can't say I will be. But I don't regret doing this video. I learned a lot. And you know what? I had fun. I really did have fun. That's the thing. Even a bad thriller, I'm still like, you know, I never feel like I waste my time. When it comes to other bad books, I feel like I waste my time. But a bad thriller, I'm just like, all's well that ends well. Like, now I know what happens in these books, you know? But anyways, I love you guys so much. And I will see you guys in the next one. And I will have my shelves back, my pretty shelves back. I miss them. I will see you guys in the next one.